I should go right out and say it, but this movie was hot garbage. But it was the kind of terrible film that was still entertaining just to point and laugh at the terrible decisions spotted throughout the narrative. Welcome to Sandwich Reviews. I'm the Talking Sentient Sandwich, and it may have only been fun from my single-minded insanity that grew as the movie went on, but I had a blast watching this. While I haven't looked at its box office, I guarantee you this movie is going to bomb, and I know that because I was watching it alone. So who watched The Watchers? Just me, I guess. But that did help my viewing experience because I could just put my feet up in the theater and audibly laugh at some of the characters. I mean, the script definitely needed another pass to cut out unnecessary things. If I could get into the genuine problems that arise when looking at the movie, I think one flaw prevails above the others, because it would have been way better without everyone constantly expositing to themselves. Often, the movie would show the audience something and then immediately describe how you should feel about it, rather than just showing something and letting the audience come up with a conclusion themselves, then moving on to the next scene. Not only would that have added some much needed intrigue, it also would have ramped up the tension that is attempted but never capitalized on. Fixing that and that alone would have made this movie infinitely better, though I doubt the terrible dialogue can be fixed without an entire rewrite. And though whatever answer your own brain comes up with may be better than the actual mystery at the heart of this film, I still liked a lot of the concepts that this movie brought up. But just because I had fun watching this bad movie doesn't mean you will, so I would not recommend checking out The Watchers. Going forward, I'll need to give a spoiler warning because this movie is chocked full of reveals and twists. I mean, I guess I should have expected all those twists considering this is an M. Night Shyamalan movie, though not all of it holds up when you think about it. But the main character was given a parrot to talk to who sometimes talked back, but it still felt stilted whenever she would talk to it and exposit whatever information the audience would supposedly need. I figured the parrot would play a larger role in the narrative as well, since it spoke, but it was cool that it led everyone out of the forest at least. Aside from that, there was a sequence near the middle where one of the characters just goes crazy for a scene. Then, after that bit of manufactured tension was done, he just went back to normal. And no one was bothered by it after that sequence was finished. I have no idea why that happened, but it did get me to laugh, so I guess there's that. The film also taps into the innate fear of the uncanny valley, which I loved to a point, because that should have been taken so much further, at least visually. There should have been at least one monster that looked horrifically grotesque, and not just sort of. Though, like I said before, I loved the whole concept of it, but that's all superficial. Kinda. I will say that the overarching mystery of who the Watchers are is nice, though the reveal wasn't great. I liked the idea that they were fairies, like the creepy folklore fairies, not Tinkerbell, but it was a cool thing that Hollywood has been pretty shy about. It's not talked about a lot, but many prominent writers and artists full-on believed in fairies. Authors such as Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, famous for writing the Sherlock Holmes stories. But despite how interesting that concept is, the reveal is nothing more than a character being plopped on screen and reciting all the information you need to know. And that's pretty much all the reveals and twists in this movie. And there is an even lazier reveal where it is shown that there's a bunker underneath the coop. That should have been such a wild twist, upending everything we thought we knew. But nah, they just haphazardly find it. Mia makes a point of asking if anyone knew about it beforehand, but everyone just replies in a monotone no. I'm not saying it has to be filmed like the scene in Parasite, if you know, you know, but that should have been a big moment in the story, and it was just nothing. Also, Madeline being a fairy is something that should have been set up way better. The reveal, yet again, is just a character reciting it to the audience. But my biggest problem with it is when pointed out that she shouldn't be able to go out in the sunlight, they answer that by saying she just could. It sort of makes sense with her being a halfling, but with that comes even more problems. Because if that's going to be the big twist to overshadow the rest, why not actually foreshadow that more? I mean, the concept of a half fairy, half human again was something that had only been brought up literally 5 or 10 minutes before that. But again, all of these flaws just built up to me having a blast while watching this dumb movie. I cannot in my right mind recommend it, but I know I'll be watching it again. The whole tone and atmosphere really did remind me of Old, another recent Shyamalan movie, which if you've seen it, you know how campy yet serious it is. And if you haven't seen it, just know there's a character named Midsize Sedan. But what did you think of The Watchers? Did it bore you to death, or did you have just as much fun as I did? Let me know down in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe for weekly video essays and reviews, and enjoy a delicious sandwich.